Talking about gaming before the Battle Pass is like two old men talking about whether Wii Sports was an actual sports title or just a legally sanctioned way to commit assault. Every single multiplayer and live service game that releases these days has a Battle Pass system. Some better than others, and some more of a ripoff than others. Everyone will look at Fortnite and point their finger claiming this is where it started and where things started to change, but the Battle Pass itself, or the idea of a Battle Pass system, was in place long before Fortnite or Epic Games. They were just the first to do it at a high level and really master the art of making money. The Battle Pass system is really an alternative to loot boxes that you would see in games such as previous Call of Duties like Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare, but also in Valve's own games like TF2 and CSGO. That's right, the same company that invented the Battle Pass pretty much perfected loot boxes in their own games as well. But in the late 2010s, Epic Games came out with their own mastered Battle Pass formula, and it went so well that every single AAA studio out there had to incorporate it into their games, like what we see with Ubisoft and Activision almost every 3 months now. Fortnite wasn't the game that made the monster. Fortnite did it right, and did it well, and still does a pretty good job today at keeping the Battle Pass interesting and actively getting consumers to purchase it every cycle, which we will come back and touch on later. But as I said, they didn't create the idea of the Battle Pass, only popularized it. Valve Corporation, responsible for games like the Half-Life series, Left 4 Dead, and Counter-Strike, first introduced the Battle Pass model in their game Dota 2 as a paid progression system called Compendium, which the developers at Epic Games would use as inspiration later for their Battle Pass system in Fortnite. But to understand why Valve created a Battle Pass system in the first place, we have to understand what the gaming landscape was like during this time, especially in the multiplayer space. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, the best-selling video games for single-player franchises were Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, Fallout, and the Batman Arkham games. Nintendo was busy striking gold with Pokemon, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, and the Legend of Zelda series, while the best-selling multiplayer games were Call of Duty, Siege, Madden 2K, GTA Online, Battlefield, and the complete domination of Minecraft from Mojang Studios, which you could say falls under multiplayer or single player, but the multiplayer world of gaming is what we really want to focus on today. Is that what birthed the idea of a Battle Pass? By the time Call of Duty was gearing up for the release of Black Ops 3 and studios like EA were getting ready to launch their remake of the Battlefront games, Valve was busy thinking of a new way to make more money, without pissing a lot of people off. During the early days of Dota 2, Valve couldn't really charge people to watch tournaments after giving it away for 2 years, and putting in ads would probably annoy the player base, which is the last thing they wanted to do since they wanted to boost the money pro players got by playing their game. And then they had a once-in-a-lifetime moment. A light bulb went off. What if they sold a digital book that included some hats? What Valve would end up calling the International 3 Compendium was a digital book that fans could buy. They would watch tournaments and bet on other players and earn points based off who was winning. It kinda worked like fantasy football. Kinda. I am no expert on sports ball, but this seems an awful like what that system is. What initially started as just a way to boost the cash for pros, Valve created a system that is now commonplace in tons of games today, and even the next year after they created the International 3, they changed the system to a more modern feel with the International 4. This is where the idea of paying for something that unlocks cosmetics and other items through playtime. A genius idea to keep gamers invested in your game and make you more money. This added another level to making and designing a video game. Not only would Valve be extending the life cycles of their seasons, they would be rewarding players through playtime alone and drawing in bigger pools for pros, which increases the player base, thus increasing the pockets of the people at Valve. But we still haven't arrived at the point where other developers started jumping on the hype train. Valve still needed to work out a few kinks and adjust the system, especially with their other titles. In 2015, Valve created the Gunmetal Campaign Pass in Team Fortress 2, which did add some newer maps like you would see in a traditional DLC release, but added daily challenges to earn cosmetics if you completed them. This was another layer and tweak that Valve needed to add to the Battle Pass model before it took over the world. In 2015 and 2016, Valve would then use compendium journals and other such features in CSGO to further try out their new model in different games. It wasn't until 2016 where we would see the arrival of the official Battle Pass in Dota 2 with that name. It pretty much worked the same as Compendium in previous years, but with more cosmetics and bonuses that would excite the player for future releases and what they could come to expect in new seasons. This was the official birth of the Battle Pass, but only the prototype. The easiest answer to what happened next is that, well, Fortnite came along and changed everything. But that's only the surface level explanation of how the Battle Pass took over every multiplayer franchise. We still need to look at that secret ingredient that Epic Games would add to the Battle Pass model in order to perfect it. What did Epic Games specifically do with Fortnite and their other titles that made their Battle Pass formula so successful and make them one of the richest companies in the world? To start that story, we could do a whole video on what gaming was like before Battle Royales, but that's going to be for another day. During 2017, Battle Royales were getting big, even before they even had a Battle Pass system, and Fortnite was the top of the ladder. Yes, you had games like PUBG doing pretty well, but Fortnite was lightning in a bottle. People could not stop playing this game. Even today they can't. Even during its beta days, it was dominating. But with Season 2, Epic Games would shake the gaming industry forever. In December of 2017, Epic Games would launch their version of the Battle Pass in their biggest game, Fortnite. This was the world's first big exposure to the Battle Pass system and popularized it to the general public. This system would offer cosmetics through playtime, daily challenges, and leveling up. But the secret that made this so special was the extra item Fortnite would add inside their own tier system: V-Bucks, Epic Games' in-game currency for Fortnite. Here's the big secret. Okay, if you played the game enough and grinded through the tier system, by the end of the Battle Pass, you could earn enough in-game currency to purchase the next Battle Pass for next season. That changed everything. It's commonplace now, but no matter what, this would increase the sale of the Battle Pass more than anything else. It was tiresome for developers to keep getting gamers to buy the season pass or try to persuade gamers that it was worth buying even the middle of a game's lifecycle. Gamers were losing incentive to buy add-ons and microtransactions, but this would mask the whole facade of that. This new system allowed gamers to see a reward with their purchase besides just extra content. In a way, they were getting their money back. Kinda. That was the big catch. See, if you buy the Battle Pass in a game like COD, Fortnite, or even Fall Guys, you can talk yourself into the purchase a lot easier knowing you can make all that money back. Kinda. Let's say a new COD releases. If you buy the first Battle Pass, you could technically never have to buy the Battle Pass again throughout that yearly cycle, if you played the game enough. Not only giving reason to play the game more, but also reasoning to purchase this game because of how many more playtime hours you will get with it now due to this new extrinsic motivation. Epic Games realized they couldn't force every player to buy a season pass and make a new DLC every other month that gamers would have to pay for every time, which could also hurt their active player base, which I would say added another secret ingredient to the Battle Pass formula: not losing players through pay to win. Fortnite, to all of my knowledge, is one of the few Battle Royales that is not pay to win at all. The Battle Pass is strictly cosmetics and in-game currency. Nothing to give you an edge over other players by simply just buying random items because you are more well off than someone else. This is pure skill with being able to look really goofy. The system was perfect. Gamers could justify purchasing this new version of a season pass because they could theoretically play the game enough that it basically pays for itself. Now, in order to still make money on those consumers that do put their time in, they offer other cosmetics in their store that aren't tied to the Battle Pass. There's players out there that haven't bought the Battle Pass since 2020, then they have other reasons to spend money on this game besides just this one standout feature. All of these features work in tandem to pull this off. The reason why Valve's other games, or PUBG or COD, have not been able to recreate a perfect Battle Royale and Battle Pass system like Epic Games is because of the fact that they are still trying to make more money. At this point, Epic Games is really focused on keeping their player base active and busy, and keeping those gamers on their games, while other companies are really more focused on how much money they can squeeze out of a game until it's just an old dried up juice box. If anything, no one should be blaming Epic Games, or Fortnite specifically, for causing the Battle Royale craze, because to this day, they're the only ones still doing it right. If anything, we should be getting upset at Activision and other developers, Ubisoft, trying to pervert this system as a glorified ATM. That's why Fortnite is still here. COD has to make a new game every year in order to make money, and have to squeeze every single marketing strategy possible that they came up with into their Battle Pass for it to sell. Which we could add another secret ingredient to Epic Games that they added, was the fact that Fortnite's free. Call of Duty, it's free. Yes, I know Warzone's free too, but that's for another day. Rant over. The Battle Pass didn't hurt gaming. it innovated it. Greedy AAA companies hurt gaming, and the live service titles we see today that fail and fail again. We are out of these Season 4, multiplayer maps every other month type of days. Gaming's next era is right around the corner. We could see another system come in and completely shake the Battle Pass formula. Even Valve 10 years later has removed their Battle Pass system from Dota 2. But even so, the system for now, it's here. It's here to stay and it's here to dominate. Yes, there are hardly any multiplayer games that are released now that don't have a Battle Pass system built into them, but that's okay. As long as the goal for these companies and their developers is to increase enjoyability and further playtime for gamers by not oversaturating everything, then yeah, it's okay for them to make a few extra bucks. Because if it wasn't for Valve wanting to do that in the first place, then we would never see a system like this come to be. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe to join the foxhole and stay up to date with the newest videos I release. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.